So this video will concentrate on controlling the map as terrorists, the smokes to push, the positions to play, and what to look out for deciding whereabouts you're going to push. The main objectives are going to be to control and listen long, B, and then ultimately control middle and decide off the information you get where you're going to push, whether that be short, whether that be B through the middle around the main part. This is based off of having a good buy, so you want a minimum 2 smokes, ideally 3 or more, and having an AWP in the middle preferably, although it's not completely necessary. The first person is going to control long doors. He's not going to push it, instead he's just going to be waiting around this area and listening to see how many nades and smokes simultaneously come across. From this you can roughly gauge if there's just one person on there, or maybe 2, there was 2 nades thrown simultaneously. In the middle, hopefully we've got an AWP. He's going to be trying to get the pick, checking how many people have crossed. Sometimes there might be a smoke, so he might not be able to give as much information, but he's going to be able to control doors and make sure no one pushes lower tunnels, and also give information when we push up middle to control catwalk. The next person is going to be going to B. Again, he's going to be doing a similar thing to A. He's going to be waiting in this area behind this pillow so he doesn't get, or pillar, so he doesn't get hit by any nades. He's going to be doing the same thing though, counting how many nades are thrown simultaneously and gauging how many CTs there are waiting in B. The other 2 guys are going to be interchangeable with long. Now the reason this is, if you've got 2 smokes, then it's a little bit different, but say for instance we've got the perfect scenario, we've got 3. Our first objective is going to be to smoke off catwalk, the box. So one way we can do it is we're going to walk forward, we're going to be sort of a 90-degree angle to this wall and to the right side of this shadow. We're going to walk forward to this wing mirror, and if we look all the way down and keep walking forward, we want to be in line with the edge of it, and we want to move forward to the right a little bit so we're in the middle of the actual wing mirror. When we're in this position, now the mouse is all the way down and we're sort of 90 degrees from here, so you can just sort of align yourself, get to the middle of it. When we're in this middle position here, doesn't need to be too exact, we can look up and look for this longest pipe, and if we just do a standing smoke and throw over, that's going to smoke Xbox here quite nicely. Now this means of the 2 people pushing here, we've only got 1 smoke left, so ideally after this person smokes he's going to switch positions with the guy on long who has the 3rd smoke. So now we've got 2 people running down here with 2 smokes. We're going to maybe flash in as we do. Check the normal positions, so obviously as we come around here, check here, check in on the right, then as we move around here we're going to check here, check up to this point, there might be an AWP, and then push in. If we want, we can always come up to here and check there's no one here. At this time we're going to have information back from B, we're going to have information back from A long, and mid's going to make sure no one's pushing. This is where we get to decide, are we going to do a short push, are we going to go through the middle on CT and smoke over and take B, or is it 2 people on middle and we're going to push through and take B together. Now let's say that on A long there was 2 people, the AWP said there's 1 in the middle, and B has reported there's 2 on B, so short is actually a good push to make because we know one of those people on long are going to be running back up to cover short and A in general. So we might have a bit of heads up on him, and this is all to do with timing and how much feedback you get. But if that happens, so we've had 2 on long, 1 on mid and 2 on B, then these are the standard smokes we're going to throw. The first one, this will be smoke 1, is going to go up to the stairs and you're just going to walk to the very top of them. Then what we want to do is align this pipe, just needs to have a little gap to the right of the windows. That's all we're looking for here. So if we walk up and get to the top and we look and we see that there's a massive gap or that there's no gap, it just needs to be like a small gap at the very top point here. Then we're going to go 3 windows up and look at the bottom right corner of the basket. We're just going to do a standing smoke. This is smoke 1. Person 1 is also, if he's got a flash, is going to do flash 1 after the second person does his smoke, and that will be looking up to the highest point of the building. I'm just going to use this as a gauge, go in the middle and up to that point there, and that'll be a very good flash to cover anyone dropping back. Let me do that smoke again so you can see from the other side. So you just go up the stairs to the very top, make sure there's a little gap there, aim for that corner and throw it over. Obviously we're going to be checking points, but I'm just going to show you from over here how it looks. The guy peeking here can't see, peeking here can't see, same position here, can't see here, can't see here. They'd have to come all the way out. Even on Goose he can't directly see, he has to step out into the open. What's going to happen as well is that flash is going to push him back further, so he's likely going to fall back here if there is a sneaky one, or the guy in this position is going to have to come out into the open, drop back and try and get the angle down here. The most likely scenario though, based on the information given, is a guy's going to be running up and looking to get cover and shots from this position picking off your heads. This is where the second smoke comes into play. So smoke 1 goes over, immediately the second guy is going to be doing smoke 2. He's going to line himself up against this wall so he's flush to it. You're going to walk up and be looking over here until you can see this pipeline align with the very edge of these 3 windows. We don't want to go too far because we'll get peeked. That pipeline aligned with the edge of the 3 windows. From here you're going to be looking at this gap here, so we want to be in the middle of it and we want to line it up so it's in the middle with this. So the way I like to do it is just go all the way up here until we can see we're like roughly in the middle of this point. Now when we get to this point we're going to do a run-in throw, so you can click and hold, and then we're going to run, and then as soon as we feel ourselves go over the lip of the stairs, that's when we're going to release there, and that's going to ping off and bounce, and it's going to cover the car area, the guy rotating. He's also, so we're also going to have this smoke here. So our points of concern are, does the middleman pop up here, is he in here anywhere, and then we're going to check here for anyone that's pushed right round. The next place is going to be over here, but they've been flashed so they're likely in a defensive position. Person 2 who threw that car grenade is going to come round, he's just going to aim roughly in this region, doesn't need to be too precise, and he's just going to throw it, and that's going to pop out, remember to turn, and it's again, the second flash is going to get anyone pushing up long, because of its impact point. It's going to get anyone that's pushed back to here, it's going to get this guy if he's decided to peek, and we get a nice position where we can push the site. Again, more than likely they're going to be over here. One thing we can do with this first smoke, once we've thrown it, so we're at the top, we look at that corner, throw it. If we've got a second guy to cover us, we've checked our points on the map, that again there could be someone jumping and looking there, but it's unlikely. That's going to be covered. You might have someone coming from CT. If he's done his flash correctly and he's taken his positions as he's coming around, so he's looking here to get the pop, just checking to make sure no one's there, and then he's going to do his check here. While this smoke's up, because we know there are 2 long coming up, he can actually, while this smoke's here, go into the smoke and just plant on this side, and then we can hold it from short. Now there are a couple of other smokes that I'll show you quickly that are quite useful. From this position against the wall, if we walk up and look, and as soon as that A point is visible, this is in a scenario, say it's like 2v2 or 3v2, maybe you've got a guy on long coming up and you know there's a couple in CT, then flush against this wall until you see the tip of the A, and then just do a stand-in smoke, and that'll go over nicely, block CT completely, and allow your teammate to push up through without any worries of CT whatsoever. And you can also get the check on here to make sure they're not pushing through the smoke. Another one from that position, from the exact same point, is if you go up to that A, see that A again, aim it on it, and then this time instead of just doing a standing throw, we're going to run until we get over the lip again and let go. And this will actually smoke off completely Goose and completely on main site if we think there may be one there, but we're not sure. We do have to check this point by the side of the box, this point here, and down here still. But if you only have one smoke, it's quite a good one to push onto site. It also allows you, if you think they're covering there, to jump down and walk up, or to go under into CT. Now, let's suppose we get information and there's definitely 2 on long. He hasn't seen anyone crossed, or there may be 3 on long. We think they've stacked A basically, so we get to this point, we get some feedback. No nades on B, there's no one in middle. Then instead of pushing short, we've got a couple of options. We can come down, do the smoke over, aim just above the window. So we haven't pushed short. And then we can also follow it up with a flash, but aimed more over just along this line here, so it still hits the wall. And then we can push that. That flash is going to get anyone that is peeking you here. It's just going to pop them right in the face, and they won't have a chance to push out. If they've got the AWP, they're going to be retreating back up here, and you'll have time to push in, not worry about the right side, and try and peek him as he's going through window or through door. And if you've had your information, it's going to likely be like a 4-on-1. Now, whilst you're doing that, smoking that off and pushing, the guy in the tunnels can then, if he has a smoke or not, he can flash in, smoke in. One good flash to do is to look at this corner, do a running through. Don't do that. Look at this bit here as you're running, just throw it over, and that will smoke off the back of the site, so you can push in here quite nicely. Check your corner. The only thing it won't do is cover this side of the box. The smoke to do that will be to get a rough alignment with this right side. You don't want it going past that. You want to look at this tip and then aim so it's 1/3 up, and then just do a little running throw. And what that will do is cover there and also give you more cover on this part, so you can check here, then maybe one on car. That smoke should give you cover at least for this bit, so it's a bit risky. You may not want to push that part, but you can at least go around here, cross doors before that smoke goes out, clear this part of the site, and then get your shot in here. And the guys will be coming up from middle, and they might be pushing doors anyway. Now, if you have done the A push, the guy on B, he's got a couple of options. It's normally best if he makes his way down here. He's already got info that there's hardly anybody, or there's a couple of guys on B. If he knows, again, depending where you're in the game, that they like to push tunnels, and he might want to wait here because they're going to have heard all these smokes. They're going to be getting calls that they're going to be going back to A, so they might rush through and come down, and you can get a pick. Or some of them might push through mid to try and get on the back of you on short, so you've got a perfect position to sort of pick them from here. If you don't think they're going to come through tunnels, a better position to cover this is to push up to the left, because as the guy pushes through, he'll normally check to his right, give a quick check here, and then he's going to be going straight up, and he's not going to check that corner properly. It doesn't always happen, but you've got a chance to wait to see how many footsteps are coming and maybe get the pick on 2 of them as they try and flank. If not, he can then join here, or he can push behind from CT and try and get any picks of people pushing up there. The guy on long, he's used his smoke. Yeah, I'll cover another bit in a second. The guy on long has used his smoke. If he's got a flash maybe, then he might want to flash over, or he might just want to, once those smokes have gone off and the flashes have gone out, he might want to walk through here because they might both return this way. If not, then just do your normal entry. You're checking your positions, checking your points, coming across here, being mindful of this, checking this side, checking in here, and then clearing pit, knowing that at least one person's going to be running back up that way. So clear pit, come back up, and then try and help your team pushing in. Yeah, so if you've got 2 smokes, you can still do this. The only difference being you'll still smoke this general area, whether it's being the smoke here, and you can get the plant in on this side without worrying about pushing, or doing the smoke that covers this whole area. If you've got 2 smokes, then you can smoke off car as well. If you don't smoke off car, just remember you check in here. That goose is going to be covered, that's going to be covered, so you just got to worry about literally here, and then might, like, if they can somehow, if they stay on the actual inside of this and push to this corner on the inside here, it's very unlikely, but they might. But all you need to do is check there and then be mindful of car as you're coming round, but normally they'll be running up. There is another smoke, but it might make it a little bit complicated. Basically, I think there's one where you aim to the bottom of this and then to the top of this box in between the gap. The bottom one will cover the near side, the top one will cover a bit further away. But you're still going to be in the same position if you just use those smokes. You're still going to have to pick these guys, you're still going to have to worry about car, so at least this one eliminates some of that. If you've got Molotovs, we've done the 2 standard smokes as we push, so we get to the top, look to the edge, the other guy's gone up here, got the pipe on the right, not like that, pipe on the right, he's looking up to there, he does his running throw. The Molotov can actually definitely either clear out the back of there and you just want to aim at this pizza sign and throw it. And I'll definitely smoke out Molotov the back of this out, so when you're coming round it's definitely clear. Or one of the other things to consider is that if you're always doing the exact same push, then obviously they're going to know sort of what the game plan is, etc. So you might get a bit of resistance on short, and just sometimes they'll just play on short as well. So like, you don't necessarily just want to have to do this flash here and try and get the peak on them. What you can do is, instead of the 2 people that are pushing mid on their own, instead of coming to A and doing the push, they can go through B and go lower tunnels. So the normal guy will still do his thing, he'll be again fishing for information, but the other 2, instead of staying here with him, they'll go lower tunnels and they'll be looking to get the peak here on short, try and get a pick if they can, watching them as no pushes. And you can also do the smoke onto Xbox from here as well. If you stand sort of parallel or directly opposite square onto this light and aim just below it, it's a little bit difficult, sometimes you do hit the light, but if you aim just below it and just do a standing throw, then you'll be able to smoke up onto Xbox there and push over based on the information you've got. And if you're here and you get information there's only 1 person on B, you know, your AWP has said there's only 1 person on B, you're in a good position to either push through main or go through the actual main point, but you can go through the middle here and push out. You can smoke off the right side with the spare smoke you have, or you can come into here. What can happen as well is once you've smoked off and cleared it, the guy on long will still have his smoke, so he can come round and join you, so you've still got 2 smokes to go on to A site here with, and the AWPer can move down into this position and then walk onto site with the AWP when he hears your smokes and flashes go over and hears you pushing, and he can get the pick as they're pushing back across, clear pit, and then hold long and also pick from here to get any of the people trying to stop you, or by car. There are a couple of other ways to smoke Xbox as well, but it's sort of like up to you. Again, the easiest way is just coming up to here, looking right down to your feet, getting this line in the middle, looking up and hitting that top bit. There's other ones like on top of here, and actually this map that I'm on teaches you this one, is basically you align yourself flush to the left of this, and then you want these back 2 wires to cross. When they do, you're going to aim just literally above and slightly to the left of it there, in that gap, and that will smoke Xbox as well. But that's a little bit less reliable. So the easiest one is that one. You can smoke it from lower tunnels. If you want to practice the smokes and use this map, then it's on the I think it is called Dust 2 Smokes, so you can download that on the workshop and just play it as T-side and practice those smokes. And that's it, guys. Thank you.